A military aircraft of the Bangladesh Air Force crashed into an educational campus in capital Dhaka on Monday afternoon, killing at least 20 people and leaving more than 170 injured. The crash occurred at the Milestone School and College located in Dhaka's northern suburb area. And the crash happened while classes in the school were underway. Well, according to a brief statement by the Bangladesh Air Force, an F-7 BGI training aircraft crashed at 1:06 p.m. local time. Over 50 people, many of them children, suffered severe burns and are now being treated in hospitals across the capital. Many of the injured are said to be in critical condition. Emergency medical teams rushed to the scene immediately and the injured were transported using whatever means were available, including rickshaws and private vehicles. Some of the injured were seen being carried towards a Bangladesh Air Force helicopter. Well, thick smoke blanketed the area as firefighters tried to douse the flames. Video footage shows the charred wreckage of the plane embedded in a school building. Survivors say that they heard a loud noise followed by a huge ball of fire. Eyewitness accounts describe a scene of panic and heartbreak.
When I was picking my kids and went to the gate, I realized something came from behind. Then I heard an explosion. When I looked back, I only saw fire and smoke. Then I just rushed my kids on an auto rickshaw and saw fire and smoke again. There were many guardians and kids here.
Crowds could be seen gathered outside hospitals where the injured are being treated, with some onlookers holding up placards showing their blood types to offer immediate help. According to reports, the military said that efforts were made to divert the aircraft away from the densely populated areas towards a more sparsely inhabited location. But the aircraft reportedly experienced a technical issue and crashed soon after takeoff. With a high-level committee being formed by the Bangladesh Air Force to conduct an investigation and perhaps assess the cause of the crash. In a series of posts on social media, Bangladesh's chief advisor Mohammad Yunus has promised a full investigation and pledged government support to the families affected. Yunus also said that the bodies of those whose identities can be confirmed will be handed over to the families as soon as possible. While DNA testing is being carried out to identify others, the Bangladesh government has announced a national day of mourning on Tuesday, with flags to fly at half-staff across the country. In a post on social media, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, and I am quoting here, excerpts from it, India stands in solidarity with Bangladesh and is ready to extend all possible support and assistance, unquote. Well, talent is no longer a resource. It's an arsenal, and the battle is about million-dollar payouts. The world's tech giants led by Meta and Apple are tearing up the rule book now. No loyalty, no legacy, no boundary is sacred. Rivals trade executives and engineers as if chess pieces, each determined to buy supremacy in the white-hot field of AI, artificial intelligence. Meta has reportedly dangled as much as $200 million to poach Ruming Pang, who is Apple's former AI lead, into its super intelligence team. Now, Pang helped build the core of Apple's foundation model efforts, quietly powering everything from Siri upgrades to behind-the-scenes generative tech. And now, Pang switched allegiance and joined Meta's AI Avengers. His rumored 9-figure deal is not just an industry flex, it might be the blueprint for how future tech salaries are shaped. Meta Superintelligence Labs have scooped up 2 more Apple engineers, Mark Lee and Tom Gunter, along with over 10 researchers from OpenAI, Google DeepMind and Anthropic. Across the board, offers now routinely include $400,000. Not just that, that's the base salary plus lavish sign-on bonuses and equity, stacking up to tens of millions annually. One machine learning star even received a $480,000 salary at Meta before bonuses. Apple, meanwhile, struggles to stem the flow. Its highly touted Siri improvements are delayed as top AI talent are now gone. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg insists it's not just about the money. He highlights unmatched compute power and autonomy, features he claims are drawing researchers more than pay packets. This titanic tug-of-war is reshaping how AI companies plan. Graduate recruitment is falling by half, with firms shifting towards hiring battle-seasoned engineers because today's AI breakthroughs demand real-world chops. Behind the glamour and dollars lies a brutal truth. The elite 1% of talent is dictating the future of intelligence. And Silicon Valley is in the throes of new AI arms race, where the spoils go not to nations, but to those who can attract and deploy human genius. A beacon of hope pierces the darkness of cancer treatment. Revolutionary nano-vaccine technology in groundbreaking animal trials has now achieved a stunning feat, completely suppressing the aggressive recurrence and spread of cancer. While human clinical trials remain distant, the initial results ignite the promise of truly personalized, life-saving therapies. Cancer is an enemy that never stops adapting, returning after every clinical victory. But a new challenger just stepped onto the field. Early experiments with a state-of-the-art nano-vaccine have throttled the very machinery behind cancer's vicious return, extinguishing recurrence and stalling the spread in animal studies with a ferocity that leaves traditional therapies behind. Scientists in China and Singapore have now masterminded this bio-inspired weapon using nanoparticle technology to target not only ordinary cancer cells, but also the most cunning architects, cancer stem cells, whose dormant potential can reawaken and fan new malignancies after surgery or any kind of chemotherapy. Unlike old-school treatments that merely wound, this nano-vaccine targets root cause, delivering an immune shock wave 7 times more effective than current options and slashing the risks of both relapse and spread of the disease. Yes, human trials do remain a challenge, but the design is compelling. Modular, turnable, and target-precise drugs can be made as per individual patient. If this nano arsenal can be translated into the clinic, it could reshape cancer therapy, transforming silence into swift surveillance. Well, it's been in the talks for a while now, but it might just be closer to reality than you think. Well, China is pushing for a new regional bloc that can serve as an alternative to South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, also known as SAARC. And no points for guessing, its partner in diplomacy, it's Pakistan. Remember, the SAARC has become defunct after New Delhi refused to share the table with Islamabad over its role in terror attacks on Indian soil. Several questions emerged at the very outset as to what purpose will this new bloc serve, which countries will join and which ones will be left out of the cluster. Let's break that down for you. According to reports, discussions between Islamabad and Beijing to potentially replace SAARC have progressed further. This comes at the backdrop of China's efforts in advancing its influence in South Asia, overshadowing India in its own neighborhood. Experts believe that such a move could not just rejig the dynamics of regional cooperation, but also the fact that leaving India out of future roadmap could have its own share of repercussions. Experts also predict that trade and economic imbalance and avoid in crisis management should an alternate SAARC without India, minus India, gets materialized. Now, back in June, Bangladeshi officials reportedly attended a meeting in China's Kunming that had the new bloc as the focal point for discussion. However, Dhaka remained tight-lipped about it with no indication of an alliance as of yet. However, the challenges faced by SAARC as a grouping are not completely unknown. In 1985, SAARC was formed by 7 founders, including India, and later joined by Afghanistan in 2007. Of late, it is being increasingly termed as defunct or non-operational, and the signs could not get any more clear. First, in 2016, when India withdrew from a planned summit citing Pakistan's support for terrorists attacking an army base in Kashmir, and post-Pahalgam terror attack in April, followed by India's Operation Sindoor, the bilateral equations remain fraught, with more tensions than ever. With New Delhi limiting its engagement with Islamabad at global forums, and this gap between New Delhi and Islamabad is exactly what China is planning to cash on. Over the years, China has also made major inroads in the bloc, especially through projects like the Belt and Road Initiative or the BRI, a partnership it shares with Pakistan. As per experts, this is Beijing's strategic move to secure energy routes besides connectivity and perhaps counter India's dominance by creating a new regional order. However, it is easier said than done, with countries like Sri Lanka, Bhutan and Nepal likely to step back if India gets weeded out from the new bloc, given their dependence on New Delhi for export of food, vaccines and other essentials. The question is, amid all of this, would a China-led SAARC sustain? More questions than answers at this point of time. Well, in other news, amid Trump's tariff war, China and Vietnam are scheduled to conduct their first joint army exercise. The drills will take place this month. Militaries of both China and Vietnam will conduct these drills in the Guangxi region, which borders Vietnam. Now, this exercise between Vietnam and China comes at a time when the two countries seek to deepen military ties as they grapple with Trump's reciprocal tariff rates. In the past, China and Vietnam have participated in several joint naval drills, but this will be the first time that armies of both the countries are conducting a joint exercise. Both nations already have deep economic ties, with China being Vietnam's largest trading partner. Now, despite territorial disputes there, the two countries are looking to strengthen military cooperation. In April this year, China's army troops had participated in Vietnam's annual parade, marking 50 years since the end of Vietnam's civil war. This was the first such appearance made by China's military as Beijing looks to keep ties warm. That's amid growing American proximity to the Philippines in the region.